Well, welcome news. After such a windy night, crews have managed to wrangle under control those two fires that started yesterday in Valencia County. Earlier, the 5-acre Crawford fire in Belen was threatening 6 structures, including homes near Gabaldon Road. Sky News 13 got video of this camper going up in flames and other buildings that had burned. That fire was 75% contained, the last we were told.
In other news this morning, an alarming find at the WIP site near Carlsbad. Scientists have detected radiation in the air a half-mile from the underground nuclear waste plant. There's a news conference scheduled for today at 1 in Carlsbad with the Department of Energy officials. The Carlsbad Environmental Monitoring and Research Center detected radioactive plutonium and americium. And they're saying that the levels are the highest ever detected in and around the site. But officials say that the levels are far below those deemed unsafe by the agency. Airborne radiation was detected underground over the weekend, which has since reached the surface. We'll let you know what the DOE says at today's 1 o'clock briefing. Well, the countdown is on, and we are in the final hours of the 2014 legislative session, and lawmakers did what they were supposed to do in this 30-day budget session. They have passed a spending plan. It's worth $6.2 billion, was unanimously approved by the Senate, then passed by the House, and is now on its way to the governor's desk. News 13's Samantha McDonald here with more. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Matt and Elizabeth. That budget bill calls for $290 million in new spending, and the lion's share of that is going to education. Other bills in limbo. No agreement has been made on final plans to fix the lottery scholarship. A Senate proposal is running up against Republicans in the House who say they don't want cuts in tuition awards to juniors and seniors in favor of fully funding freshmen and sophomores. But both sides agree on the importance of solving the issue.
We're looking forward to doing what we were sent here to do, and that is fix the lottery scholarship, either put money in or change the scholarships in such a manner that it's not going to be in a position where it's losing money.
I would hope that we could come to a resolution and figure out a fix without dipping into the taxpayer's pocket to do.
Lawmakers also shot down a constitutional amendment that would have increased the state's minimum wage. It fell 3 votes short of getting on the November ballot. And when it comes to Omari's law, it's stuck in committee and likely won't be heard in the Senate this morning. And it appears unlikely the Senate will get to a proposed constitutional amendment to replace the governor-appointed education secretary with a superintendent appointed by an elected school board. Matt, back to you.
All right, thank you for the update, Sam. The final gavel falls at noon as this session wraps up. With enough work accomplished, it does not look like there is a need for a special session. If anything changes, we'll let you know. Well, a bill to improve the Children, Youth, and Families Department passed both chambers and is now waiting for the governor's signature. This bill requires CYFD to produce a report about how it places and removes kids from homes and much more. It's all designed to address the need for accountability and transparency at CYFD, which, as you know, has come under fire recently for how it's handled a number of cases. All right, we have a few hours left in this session. Stories will be developing constantly and quickly at the Roundhouse this morning. We'll have the latest at KRQE.com. It's also where you'll find Roundhouse reporter Alex Goldsmith's blog. Check it out to get the latest and get some insight on what's going on up there.
2 state representatives are getting paid for this session, even though they were absent for part of the time because of health problems. The Santa Fe New Mexican reports that Philip Archuleta of Las Cruces and Ernest Chavez of Albuquerque were each paid more than $1,500 for the first 10 days of the session. A spokesman says both representatives did legislative work during their illnesses. New Mexico legislators, by the way, receive daily payments for attendance and for mileage reimbursement. Sanctioned by the State Racing Commission for doping horses, many trainers are still working years later without penalty.
On special assignment last night, Matt Grubbs found it's all because the appeals process for horse trainers can be long and agonizing. 2 state lawmakers and the State Racing Commission are trying to change that, pushing bills to give horse tracks more power to ban trainers and set limits for appeal. But does it cheat the trainers out of their right to work?
A license to be on the track and to race horses is not just a given, not something that you just buy. It's a privilege.
You can find out more about this tonight at 9 o'clock on 2 Casa. You can also check out Matt Grubb's story anytime at KRQE.com. 5:06 now. Controversy in a city council race in Española. A candidate apparently lied about living there and got on the ballot. Now the question is, will he be taken off? Candidate Ray Ortiz is running for a District 2 city council position. Secretary of State's office discovered the property Mr. Ortiz listed as his home is actually a commercial lot. Ortiz admits he lives half the time in La Mesilla, the other half in Chimayo. The investigation has been turned over to the Attorney General. A judge will decide if Mr. Ortiz will be removed from the ballot. The election there is March 4th.